Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
So, hello guys, hi everybody. Just type in the chat if all of you can hear me, and we'll just start the session. So, practically today's session, good to go, right? Practically today's session is about how do you start your campus placement preparation. So, if you're a fresher, or even if you are not a even if you are probably in your final year or pre-final year, or maybe even you've graduated, your preparation journey would more or less look like the same. So even if you're 24, 25, 26, 27 graduate, you can follow the same thing for your campus placement preparation or even your off-campus placement preparation, 100%, no issues, right? So I will walk through everything that you need to prepare. Just give me 1 second. Right, so as you can see, these are the slides that I'm going to cover. First thing first is, if you're a fresher or even if you're not a fresher and in your final year, make sure that you follow us on all of these social media channels. The link are given in the description of the video. The reason being, and I'll very quickly tell you about this, or you can go to a particular page which is prepinsta.com/offcampus. How you can go to here is, just go to prepinsta.com, go to off-campus, click upon get off campus update. So you will land on this particular page here, and then as soon as you land here, you can choose the platform of your choice. So if you want to get off campus updates on WhatsApp, Instagram, Discord, Telegram, etc. So let's say if I click upon WhatsApp, right? So you can choose your batch. I'm a 27 graduate, or I'm passing out in 2027 batch, or 26 or 25 or 23, right? So click upon that, probably you'll land, let's say if you click upon 27, you will land here. We post all the off-campus updates. As you can see here, Globus is hiring, how do you prepare for placements, how do you prepare for any service-based company. So this way, so you will get off-campus updates on our social media. Very, very important thing. And as always, just give me 1 second. As always, the top 3 comments get PrepInsta Prime subscription for free. So Anna is already there managing the chat. So make sure if there are good people who ask actual good doubts, so in that case, we actually give them PrepInsta Prime subscription absolutely free. What is PrepInsta? And we'll start this. I'm just waiting for people to join. What is PrepInsta Prime subscription? You get access to more than 200 plus courses under one single subscription. So courses like AWS, Java, Python, data science, competitive coding, machine learning, and even now we are launching a generative AI course, right? So generative AI course is being launched probably in the next 2 to 3 days. So make sure that you go ahead and check that. Courses like operating system, Amazon, TCS, NQT, etc. in one single subscription for your campus placement preparation. This is how the course kind of look like. So you will understand the quality of the videos from this, and we'll talk more about that a little later. So again, make sure that you use the coupon code Atulya, and or probably call on this number, you will get 20% off, just valid for today, right? So this is very, very important. All right. So first, to understand how do you start your campus placement preparation, even to begin what topics to prepare, you need to understand what your campus preparation journey would look like, right? So when any particular company comes to your campus, first your TPO will ask you to register for that company. For most companies, there would be a resume shortlisting, but only for companies who are paying more than 6 LPA. For TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant, companies which are paying less than 6 LPA, there would not be any resume shortlisting per se, but for companies paying 6 LPA, there would be resume shortlisting. I'll also talk about in this video how do you make sure that your resume looks good and ready for campus placements, right? So approximately, 50% of the people would be rejected based upon their resume in here, but only for 6 plus LPA. Second thing is there would be an online test. That is step 1 for any particular company's hiring. So even if it is Amazon, even if a company is paying 45 LPA, even if a company is paying 6 LPA, 4 LPA, 3 LPA, there would be an online test, but that online test majorly will have your aptitude section. So I'll come back to it, but then again, or in fact, let's talk about this only. Your aptitude section is very, very important. So what generally people do is they start their campus placement preparation via preparing for coding first, or preparing for skills like whichever skills they've chosen. If they've chosen AWS, cloud, data science, full stack development, etc., etc. This is a wrong idea. Ideally, your placement preparation should only and only begin with aptitude. 90% of the companies will only have aptitude section in their online test. Approximately 10-20% of the company will also have coding round and MCQs, which would be mostly based upon C and C++, right? So that would be your first test. From here, let's say if 100 people register for a company, only the top 20% of the people will move to the next round, right? That is basically your additional coding test, but only in the case of some companies. For example, you would have your TCS Digital, Infosys, Cognizant, Amazon, etc., etc. So additional coding tests. So top 20% of the people in this and this will go to the technical interview, right? Now technical interview would be approximately 35 to 45 minutes in companies like which are paying less than 10 lakh rupees. Then again, and then there would be an HR interview, 10 minutes approximately, and then finally in this 30% finally people will get rejection and selection. So if you look at here, 100 people, top 20, only 20 people reach here. Out of those 20 people, approximately 30%, that is 6 people. So if 100 people are applying, finally 6 people will get offer rollout, which are subject to background verification and malpractice if you've done any malpractice. Right. Now, there's slight change if it's a product-based company paying more than 10 lakh rupees, right? How would this look like? Again, same thing goes for registration. Resume shortlisting, 50% of the candidates would be rejected here. Then you would have your online test, additional coding test. Here is where your process changes a little. You will have technical interview 1, which would be approximately how many hours? 1 hour. Then there would be a technical interview 2, which would be 1.5 hour. Then there would be a managerial interview 45 minutes. Then there would be an HR interview 20 minutes, and selection and offer rollout. So if you practically look here, for companies that are paying higher, more than 10 LPA, generally there are more number of technical interviews, right? This technical interview 1 would probably focus about, base C, C++, Java, Python basics of those, your DSA, your competitive coding knowledge. Technical interview 2, which is 1.5 hours, would just focus upon projects and a little bit of competitive coding. So 1.5 hours you can speak about your project. If you can, in that case, good to go, but we'll more discuss about that a little later. Then managerial interview, again stress type of things, we'll talk about it a little later. So this is basically how your campus placement would look like, right? Now if you move next, approximately when would companies be hiring? This is very, very important for us to understand, right? So as you can see here, that is in June to August, you will have product-based companies that would be visiting your campus. And after August, no product-based companies. So practically product-based companies are the ones which are paying a little higher. So for example, let's say Amazon, Flipkart, Cisco, Google, Microsoft, etc. would be visiting very early in your campus, right? Then approximately in July and October, you would be having service-based companies which would be visiting your campus July to October. Then November to December, you will have on-campus placements only, but primarily sales and marketing roles, 2 to 5 LPA. Then Jan 26 you can do this, right? Off-campus partner hirings via PrepInsta, Scalar, Upgrad. So obviously all of these companies are partnered with players like us. PrepInsta, Scalar, Upgrad, etc., etc. So then they hire via these on-campus hiring. So if you have PrepInsta Prime subscription, and once you are done with your campus placements, you would have companies wherein we could refer you, right? And then July to August, off-campus national drive. So any particular company, for example, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, first hires on campus, approximately 50 to 60% hiring. Then 20 to 25% of the hiring would be via these partner companies, right? Then rest 20 to 25% of the hiring via national drives. So for example, TCS has TCS NQT, or Wipro has Wipro NLTH, right? Same Cognizant also has, Infosys also has, via off-campus national drives. That would be happening 1 year from now, right? So this is basically it. But one thing that I want to focus more upon, some on-campus hirings for some partner, for some companies would also happen just in May and June only. So for example, you will have Cisco Ideathon, Amazon Wow, Flipkart Grid, SAP, Salesforce, Intel. So they will announce their hackathon event. So for example, Flipkart Grid could be announced in next 1.5 months, and they will hire approximately 30% via that. Same, Cisco Ideathon. So we will post all of these off-campus drives on our Instagram, on our WhatsApp. So make sure that you follow our Instagram, you follow our off-campus hiring updates page, etc. But very, very important thing I want to focus here. If you look here, all the high-paying companies after August, none. If you are relying on on-campus placements after August, August is your last chance to get product-based companies that is paying more than 10 LPA. So somebody who starts their placement preparation today, because your placement prep would approximately take somewhere around minimum 3 months, or in fact I should say 6 months, but since the time is less, but if you put like 8-9 hours every day, 3 months mein ho jayega. You know, it can be done within 3 months if you put 10 hours every day in your placement prep, right? But if you start your placement today, by June, July, August, you will already be prepared. So I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody starts their on-campus placement right now. Let's say I rate them 8 out of 10. Will get a chance in 10, or will get placed in 10 to 40 LPA. Simple, because already had enough time to prepare for campus placements. Was prepared when, let's say, these were hiring, or in your college, Amazon was visiting, Cisco was visiting, etc., etc. Right? But somebody who starts, let's say, in July, when your college will reopen and actually placements will begin, right? So they will get placed here, because when these companies are hiring, they are unprepared. So 3 months of early advantage, if you start 3 months early, can make a difference between if you get hired for, let's say, 3 LPA, 4 LPA here, or if you get hired for 20-25 LPA here. So 3 months early, if you prepare, you can increase your package by, let's say, 5 times, 6 times, or you can look at that. 3 months of early preparation saves at least 3 to 4 years of your life, because for you to go from 5 LPA to, let's say, 25 LPA, it will take you 3-4 years of your life, right? So basically this is it. Now let's come about and let me just also very quickly check some comments if there are any. Okay. If you have some questions in the comments, please make sure that you ask them. Okay. Perfect. When I get the test link, Accenture. Okay, so you can ask your questions right now till there are not any. So this is how your placement journey should look like. So I have prepared, this slide is for service-based company. My next slide is primarily for product-based company. So I'll explain this a little by little. Step 1 is you do aptitude. When I say aptitude, quants, logical, verbal, data interpretation, visual reasoning, game-based aptitude, right? So this should be your step 1. In fact, just let me go outside. So how do you start preparing for it? So, right, so you go to Prep Insta, and then you go to, let's say, aptitude, and let's say quants. So this is how you can start your basic aptitude preparation. So let's say if you want to practice check formulas, you can click here. How to solve quickly, text strips and shortcuts, questions, you can click here. So for example, let's say if I want to check formulas for LCM and HCF, so you will find all of these here, right? I have to log in, my bad. Right, same thing goes on for questions. So if you want to check questions, you can check here, or you can probably read from a book, but ideally I would not suggest reading from a book. So why? Because with Prep Insta, you will get to know additional facts. Let's forget about it. It will take some time for me to log in. Okay. So this is the first thing that you should do, study aptitude. next step should be, once you're done with aptitude, approximately 20 to 30 days it will take for you to study and prepare for aptitude, all the different topics, because there are multiple topics in aptitude. Just to go back, just in quant section, you have all of these topics, right? Averages, shortcuts, compound interest, simple interest, right? So again, TCS. So next thing that you do is, whenever any particular company is coming to your campus, generally what happens is 30 to 60% of the questions are repeated year on year, right? For example, TCS repeats 30 to 35% of the questions every year. Amazon repeats 10 to 20% of the questions every year. One. Second thing is, most of these platforms will be hiring via, or most of these companies will be hiring via some platform. So for example, AMCAT, right? Wipro hires via AMCAT, Deloitte hires via AMCAT, CoCubes. Capgemini hires via CoCubes, your HDFC Bank hires via CoCubes, then Accenture hires via CoCubes, so that, right? Then you have HackerRank, right? Cognizant hires via HackerRank. Most of the product-based company hire via HackerRank. So HackerRank has a question bank of 2,000, 3,000 questions overall. Out of those 2,000, 3,000 questions, a test will have 100 questions, right? So if you give the test 5 times, approximately 20% of the questions you would have already seen, right? So if you practice from previous year questions given on HackerRank, AMCAT, etc., so you will have higher chance. For example, AMCAT, the question bank is thousands, right? So 1,000, 100, you understand. So let's just quickly again go back. In fact, here, right? So next thing that you do is check previous year papers of different companies.
Before you watch the videos, skip to the next part.
So for example, if you go to TCS, you scroll down. My bad. So let's say if you go to TCS, you can go to, let's say, aptitude questions here, click upon aptitude questions. Then from this aptitude questions, you can, let's say, click upon averages. From averages, you can start the quiz, let's say free material, and then you can practice this particular question here. So again, if you click here, you will get to know which were the options which are correct, or how many people chose which option. You can even see the graph. Right now I have not logged in, but you can see the graph basis per, let's say, if you were able to solve this question in 30 seconds, but on average most of the people were able to solve this in 20 seconds. So you are performing on average a little poorly. So this becomes a little better than if you are preparing from a book, hypothetically. So first thing is, again, you study aptitude, basic aptitude. Second thing is, whenever any particular company is coming to your campus, you prepare from previous year questions, because those are going to be repeated, right? But again, next thing that I would recommend here, you can do all of this, but then again, if you have Prep Insta Prime subscription, so again, as you know, you get access to all the I don't know why my screen is a little stuck. Okay. So you can go to this particular section here, and then, for example, we have all of these sections. So for example, visual reasoning syllabus, you can check here. Just give me 1 second. I'm a little new to this TV area, so taking a little time. So again, quants, logical, verbal, data interpretation, visual reasoning. As you can see, these are the screenshots here. You can check demo video also. Click here, click on demo video. So you'll be able to check the quality of all the different courses that we have. And then again, at some point in time, I had also showed you, if you go here, in terms of how do you check the quality of courses. So this is how you can check, this is how the courses will look like. So you can understand the quality of the courses from here. Right, so again, if you have Prep Insta Prime subscription, then go ahead and do aptitude section from here. Perfect. Now let's move to the next part, which is again, we've done with aptitude, we're done with previous year questions. Then again, resume shortlisting, but resume I'm going to talk probably 5 minutes from now, and give mock test. Mock test is very important. The reason being, because let's say you open a book, or let's say if you're preparing from Prep Insta aptitude section or the previous year questions, what will happen is you will take your own sweet time of 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. But when you're actually giving the exam, there are going to be, let's say section 1 has 30 questions, but you need to solve those 30 questions in 25 minutes. So it does not also become just the game of accuracy, but speed also, because even if you're, let's say 100% accurate, but you were only able to solve, let's say 10 questions, right? And somebody out of 30, and somebody who was, let's say, 50% accurate, but was able to solve all the 30 questions. So in that case, he gets 15 questions right? Ideally, you need to solve every question in 45 seconds to 1 minute. So your accuracy is good, but your speed needs to be a little better. So give a lot of mock tests. With Prep Insta Prime, each and every course would have mock tests. Then once you're done with aptitude, because if you don't clear the online test, which is based upon aptitude, you will not get a chance to showcase your coding skills, to showcase the projects that you've done, to showcase the internships that you've done, or even to showcase the certifications that you've done. There's no point doing DSA, C++, Java, Python, or doing a full stack development course or a machine learning course unless you are not done with aptitude, right? Because your online test is based upon aptitude round, the first online test. Then you move ahead with C++, Java, Python, right? So first thing that I would recommend for you to do is, in fact, we are here, pick up any or pick up C, because there are two things that you need to do. You need to do a procedural language, you need to do an object-oriented language. So C is the only procedural language. This is what the interviewers are expecting. And any of the object-oriented programming language out of C++, Java or Python, any one that you want to pick up, you can pick up. But theory, because the interviewer is going to ask you questions like what is encapsulation, what is polymorphism, what is the difference between runtime polymorphism, compile time polymorphism, static binding, runtime binding, etc., etc. So you need to know the theoretical part of it. I'm not come to coding. I've come to theoretical part of the coding language, right? So just that. So this is going to be step one. What you can also do is, let's say if you go to Prep Insta, go to Prepare, go to Programming, let's say if you want to learn C, right? So you can go scroll here. Should have logged
Before
in.
you watch the videos.
Right? So you can go and check all of these blogs here, or if you have Prep Insta Prime subscription, then pick up any of the course. You can access all the 200 plus courses that are there on the platform, right? Now next thing that you do is, again, you are done with C++, Java or Python, right? Pick up Prep Insta Top 100 Code, because we've just studied the theory but not coding. Ideally, what is Prep Insta Top 100 Code? It is the Bible if you want to start your coding preparation. It is the Bible if you are weak in coding or intermediate in coding and want to just revise it and hands-on. So I'll just open it. Yeah. So Prep Insta Top 100 Code is the Bible. So as you can see here, the codes are available in all the different languages. The level of difficulty starts from very basic. So as you can see, it starts from positive or negative number and slowly increases and decreases, as you can see here. So power of a number, strong number, perfect number, friendly number, working with numbers, binary to decimal, then arrays, you will have recursion, etc. So this is your Bible for coding. So let's say if you want to probably check, let's pick a program. For example, prime number program, right? So if you click here, the benefit that you can find here is, for example, there are 6 different methods that are given here. First method, then optimization, then optimization, then optimization, then optimization, then optimization, right? And I'll very quickly show it to you also here. So as you can see, this is the code. You can click upon the run button here, and then the compiler will open in a new tab, and then you can code here perfectly. The reason why this is important is, and let me just quickly, my bad. So the reason why this is important, because interviewer is going to ask you that, write a program for prime number, or explain me how do you write the program to, predict if a number is prime or not. But the second question that he's going to ask is optimize it. Then you will optimize it. The third question he's going to find is, can you optimize this a little further? Maybe he'll give you a hint. So it is very, very important and most likely in all the interviews, right, we work upon optimization. So even before you do DSA, there is certain basic optimization that can happen in classic coding, which is something that you will learn with Top 100 Codes. Trust me, it is Bible for coding. So once you are done with Top 100 Codes, also what you can probably do is, you can go here. If you have Prep Insta Prime subscription, pick up these 2 courses, basic coding and intermediate coding. Ideally, a CSIT graduate should directly start with intermediate coding. But if you're probably, let's say, weak in coding, or if you're a mechanical EC, EEE background, and you don't even remember how the structure of the code, like include Studio H, etc., etc., then you do basic coding. This code will teach you, basics of very, very basics of coding. Ideally for non-CSIT engineer, first they do this, then they do this. Next thing if we go back, is you're done with Prepinsta top 100 codes, basic intermediate coding, DSA. Next thing is what you do is, just let's go back, is DSA. So in Prepinsta Prime subscription, we have a specific course here which is called DSA for service-based companies. Very, very important. The reason being the whole DSA is very big. This particular course that you see here, normal DSA, is approximately 150 hours of course. This is too vast even for a 30-40 lakh rupees role, right? But we recommend this because if, let's say, if you're preparing for 4 lakh, 5 lakh, 6 lakh, 10 lakh, or even if you're preparing for 40-50 lakhs, first, if you are already placed in a service-based company, then you do go ahead and prepare for a product-based company. So ideally, you do this. Once you're done with this, then you move ahead to data structures courses. You can also do data structures from Prepinsta top 100 DSA. So just go to prepare, programming, and learn data structures. Go and click here. So you'll find all the data structures code. Let me, in fact,
before you watch the video,
I should have logged in on the website. I'm seeing ads on my own website. So for example, if I click upon linear search. So as you can see here, you will find linear search and a lot of memes also. Okay, but let's not talk about the demo. Okay, so move back. So basically this is pretty cool, trust me, right? Then you go to, you're done with your DSA programming. You go ahead and do competitive coding, right? Competitive coding is the next step. Why competitive coding is really, really important? Primarily, competitive coding you should not do, or typically companies with package less than 6 lakh rupees will never ever ask you competitive coding. They'll just ask you basics of DSA. But if it's more than 6 lakhs, a little bit of competitive coding. If it is more than 10 lakhs, 100% they will ask you competitive coding. In fact, if I go back to my slides, and we'll focus just here. So your technical interview 1 would be primarily C, C++, Java, Python, top 100 codes, basics of DSA. Technical interview 2, 50% of it would be on competitive coding and the rest 50% upon projects, certifications, etc., etc. Right? So technical interview 2, as you can see, is 1.5 hours. This is just 1 hour. So they are going to grill you upon competitive coding. Then managerial interview, which is 100% based upon stress and 50% based upon stress and situational questions, 50% based upon just projects and certifications. So let's go back. Okay, we were here. Right. So now we are done with DSA and general DSA also. Projects. Now this is where I want to take like 2 minutes of yours. This is why 90% of the people, I used to previously work in different companies, right? Before being the founder of Prepinsta. 90% of the people that I used to interview got rejected because of projects. I know all of your projects are either group projects, that it was a group of 3. Maybe your friend did the project and you had probably 0 or very minimal contribution. Or maybe you've written like 4 projects in your resume, but out of all 4, maybe it got formatted. Generally, this is what do I tell people is, okay, show me all 4 projects that are mentioned in your resume. Open up your laptop and show them. 90% of the people say, sir, it was a group project, I don't have the code. First. Most people also say this, sir, it was in my old system, or I have forgotten to bring my laptop to the interview, so I can't show you the code. Third type of people, sir, it was in my old laptop, the laptop got formatted. Fourth type of people, they give other bullshit reasons. Primarily, if you have done certifications, if you have done projects, whatever you are writing in your resume, immediately you should be like, sir, let me open up my laptop. This is the code, wherever you want to, let's say if it's in a local system or hosted on GitHub, right? And let's say the interview would want to click upon run button and let's say it goes to a Netlify website or a Vercel website, or if it's running in your local system. Imagine this, your mom wants to hire a cook, and in the interview that she's taking for the cook, she's like, she would obviously want to taste the food, that, if they've made biryani or dal tadka, she would want to taste it. She would not be like, okay, tell me the recipe that you will add, let's say cinnamon, you will add dal, you will add this much of water. She would want to taste it, right? If you are hiring for a cook, same thing is for a company that is hiring for hiring engineers, they would want to just not look at your resume, but see the code also. So very, very important. Again, do certifications. If you do certifications from reputed website, this is also important. Your Neptel certification, your Coursera certification, your Udemy certification. To be honest, you can throw them in the dustbin. Nobody cares. All the people who are taking your interview are engineers. They know these certifications. You did not learn anything. It was theoretical. There were no projects, nothing. If you have certification from Scalar, Upgrad, Coding Ninjas, Prepinsta Prime, right? So all of these reputed platforms, they do trust certification. This is why they also hire from them. So let me just very quickly go here. In June to August also, these guys are hiring from their partner platforms, as you can see here. In again, off campus here, in Jan to June also, off campus hiring partners, they are hiring from here. So, you know, reputed big companies, I'm not just saying take Prepinsta Prime subscription and get certification from here, even if it's fine if you don't take it, to be honest. But do Upgrad or do Scalar or do Great Learning or Coding Ninjas, etc. Some reputed platform, you will get two advantages. First, your recruiters will trust that certification more apart from a Neptel, Coursera or Udemy certification. Second thing is, you will be eligible for partner hiring because we are partnered with more than 500 companies that hire via us. Because these companies have stopped visiting campuses because that's very expensive, flights, on-campus events, etc. So very important. So let's just go back here. So once you're done with that, so pick up any particular skill of your choice. So let's say if you have Prepinsta Prime subscription and even if you don't have it, right? So Git, GitHub, Tableau, Big Data, Data Science, Data Analytics, Artificial Intelligence, AWS Cloud, Selenium, Ethical Hacking, Power BI, Cyber Security, you know, NLP, Deep Learning. We are also launching Generative AI, etc. Then again, so this is basic skill. Either you can be in data or in cloud or in testing. As you can see, all these are available with 200 courses on one single subscription, or you take a full stack, right? So full stack in MERN stack, Angular, React, Node.js, all of these courses are here. But make sure in all of these courses, there are approximately, in fact, let's just open up. One course is something that I've made here. I'll and this is very important. I'm not just promoting Prepinsta here, but even if you don't take Prepinsta Prime subscription, still I want you to probably look at it. So kind of projects that you can do here. So with this also, so for example, the kind of projects example that you can do: Zomato review analysis, hacking NASA, YouTube streaming automation, Twitter sentiment analysis, Wikipedia data scraping, credit score analysis, Pokédex. In fact, let me very quickly show a demo video to you also. So for example, this is one of the courses that I've shot. This is our AI ML course we are creating. In fact, let me play the video from which you will understand. So this is our AI ML course in Prepinsta Prime. Basically, we are trying to train a robot. How do you walk on its own, make decision on its own, right? So then we take up an example that, okay, you want to train a robot, so give it a reward like a biscuit. So if we know about it, weights, gravity, acceleration, center of mass, camera, etc. Then we give rewards based upon, if it falls down, we kind of penalize it by giving -1 marks, -3 marks, and so on, or etc. Right? So then again, in the next video, we go ahead and code this through. So as you can see here, this is an example of multi-arm bandit problem. One more example we take somewhere here in the middle of the video. We talk about, let's say, if you are in Vegas and you want to earn money out of, let's say, machine, how do you use data science to do all of this? So you should have cool projects that you can demo. In fact, one quick example that I would want to show you, in fact, let's not play the video, or in fact, let me do it only. So here, as you can see, I'm wearing a mask, right? It says I'm wearing a mask. As soon as I remove it, I remove the mask. Your project should be so cool. Imagine yourself, sir, let me show, or you walk in the interview and then you're like, sir, let me show you a cool project that I've made. Right, you open up your laptop and you click upon run button and you wear a mask, and it shows that, okay, 99% probability you're wearing a mask. As soon as you remove the mask, it shows 100% probability you're not wearing a mask. The interviewer is actually able to see your project, feel your project, rather than just being like some words written in your resume. So even if you don't do this, your project should be cool. it should demo here, even if you have done your certification from, let's say, Great Learning, etc., etc. But make sure that you have cool projects, right? Let's skip that. Let's move next, which is DBMS and SQL. Any company, any role that you work for, even if it's a full stack developer, even if it's a data scientist, Python developer, cloud, machine learning, generative AI, etc., you will need to do DBMS and SQL, because you will be storing something from the database or you'll be fetching something from the database, right? Alter Ego is saying, bro looks dapper in that Red Bull tee. Let's do one thing, Anna. Let's make a coupon code called as Red Bull, and with Atulya as the coupon code, we were giving 20% off. We'll also give coupon code Red Bull as 20% off, right? Still, so this is again very important, and even if you're a CSIT person or a non-CSIT person, all of this doesn't change, because the company will not care about that, okay, I'm hiring a mechanical guy, but at the very end of it, it's a role which is a software engineering role. So you need to know DBMS, you need to know C, C++, Java, Python, TSA, competitive coding. You must have projects, right? So company will not, well, in fact, they are doing you a favor by allowing non-CSIT people to sit for placements, for product-based, service-based company, IT companies. Then OS, CN, SDLC. OS and computer networks, that is operating system and computer networks, you only do if there's a company visiting your campus which is a hardware company or a networking company like Arista Networks, Qualcomm, Cisco, Juniper Networks. All of these companies, you understand, right? So only then you do, or like Samsung, Nokia, Siemens, you know, these companies make networking and hardware components. Then finally, you will have GD, HR, puzzles, guess estimates. Now, there will be some people who will be crying. The reason being, unfortunately, you got rejected in HR interview. And to be honest, let's say if 50 people clear the technical interview, out of those, or let's say 100 people clear the technical interview, after that there will be an HR interview for most companies. The company will still reject again 50% of the people in the HR interview. The reason being, and you're like, I answered all the question correctly, my English was fluent, right? But why? So practically why? Because you did not do puzzles, guess estimates, case study, and HR and GD. So which is why specifically you can Google about them, and you can check, you know, for example, just Google top 100 puzzles questions asked in interviews, right? So this is one way. Otherwise, we on Prepinsta Prime only, we have a section which is created specifically for this. And I'm not saying just take it. You can just do from Google also if you like, but just want to quickly show. Did I miss it? Acha, here it is. So your resume, guess estimates, group discussion, puzzles, all of these courses are also here. Or if not, you can use Jugaad from YouTube, or you can do Jugaad from internet, right? Okay, so this is basically it. For product-based companies, specifically, there is some things that I've mentioned here that is in red. This you still do for certificate, for service-based, product-based, or whatever companies. Any particular skill you pick up, one, but make sure that you have good certification from a reputed company and also demoable projects. If my team is listening, they can give me water. It will be really helpful, but let's move ahead, right? Then again, for product-based companies, what will happen is your DSA will be a little advanced. You will be asked competitive coding. You will need to have advanced projects. You will have longer interviews as I demoed and more difficult questions. So why? If you look at here, 30 to 45 minutes of interview for a company which is like 6 LPA, 3 LPA, 5 LPA, and 10 minutes of HR interview. So here you are done. But for companies which are paying higher, as you can see here, 1 hour of technical interview 1, and 1.5 hours of technical interview 2, 45 minutes of managerial interview. So primarily this becomes a little, difficult. So which is why they'll be asking more difficult questions, more advanced questions. This is the only difference. Now let's go back to, I am in the slides only. So let's stay here and let me zoom this. Take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this. And I'll wait here. All the people are looking, take a screenshot. And I'll explain why. This is the most important thing. And take a screenshot of this area. And then you can zoom in, etc. And I know that hopefully you'll not be able to read it also, could be happening. This is 3-4 years back when TCS actually used to carry a piece of paper to write, let's say if you're being interviewed, they will write your CT/DT number here and give you marks here out of 5. So I don't know if you can read it or not. Okay, I can zoom in. A little bit difficult, but trust me bro, karke I'll explain. So here, as you can see, they are recommending you for Ninja profile, digital profile or none. So TCS offers, in fact, one more profile now, which is called as Prime. 3.5 LPA, 6.5 LPA and 11 LPA. A little bit of difference between UG and PG. Here, 3.5 LPA both for UG, PG, 6.5 LPA for BTech, 7.5 LPA for MTech, and here 11 LPA for both of them. So only here they are offering 1 lakh extra if you've done an MTech. Then final rating. But here, if you look here, they are giving you 5 marks for what? 5 marks for subject knowledge, core branch technical knowledge, programming skill, project work. So basically, they'll be asking you C, C++, Java, Python, 5 marks. 5 marks for problem solving, optimization technique, DSA, competitive coding. Yes, sir. So 5 marks they are giving you for what? For DSA, a little bit of competitive coding, probably for, let's say, a digital role or a prime role. Obviously, they'll not ask competitive coding for 3.5 LPA package. If you look here, additional competency, 5 marks again, which is knowledge of database, knowledge of SDLC, knowledge of system design. They don't ask system design, only 11 LPA prime role, they will ask system design. But DBMS, SDLC. So if you look here, C, C++, Java, Python, top 100 codes primarily, DSA, competitive coding, optimization techniques. Third point, SDLC, DBMS. 5 marks for all of them. But if you look here, 20 marks. 20 marks for what? 20 marks for digital skills. What have they mentioned? Knowledge of 1 digital skills. What is digital skills? AWS, cloud, data science, full stack, generative AI, machine learning, etc. Possible code review. Possible demo of working project. Real world. So basically they are saying, I will open up your laptop and show me the code, is what they are saying. 20 marks for it. Before that, all the skills, coding skills, total 15 marks, 5, 5, 5, just for this 20 marks. Certification specifically they have mentioned, 10 marks. Knowledge about projects, real world applications, possible code review. So whatever in certifications, whatever project that you did, possible code reviews, 10 marks. So 30 marks just for projects and certifications. Communication, fluency, articulation, listening skill, 10 marks. Behavioral competency, stress management, confidence, culture fit, ambitious, 5 marks. So please take a screenshot of this. Also, one more thing is, most of your resume look like here on the left, bad. Your resume should look more like this, a little boring. And if you look here, you can see the color, blue color here. In fact, maybe I can zoom. The person has mentioned their project name and given link. A lot of people say, sir, I applied for Microsoft by visiting on their website. Prep&Star posted this hiring drive. I didn't even get the online test. I didn't even get, a reply of rejection. Why? To be honest, they'll not send you. They'll only, and you're like, okay, IITs, these guys are hiring. People are going to Menlo Park, California to do internship. People are going to Google, Cisco, Microsoft office in Bangalore to do your internships, etc. How I am not getting selected for those internships and those off-campus hirings? The reason being, for the HR, you've not given your links to the project. Imagine somebody's resume with links to the project, their lead code ranking, etc., etc. And somebody who's just mentioned disease detection by machine learning description. That's it. What the hell? Make sure that you have good projects, demoable projects. Click here, code. Click here, actual, let's say, Netlify or Vercel website. So, very important. One more last thing, or a few last things that I want to focus upon. So, for example, all of these companies, you look down upon TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant, etc. They actually give higher package. So, for TCS Ninja 3.6 LPA, they'll be hiring 90% of the people will be working in testing. TCS Digital coding profile, proper, right? Which is 6.5 LPA, you'll be working on basic coding. okay, let's talk about this a little later. Take a screenshot of this if you want to. All of these companies have basic package also, higher package also. As you can see, take a screenshot of this. But this is where I'll explain you. So for example, I'm taking an example of Cognizant. What Cognizant is saying, for my 4 LPA role, I'm hiring QA, infrastructure engineer, application analyst, in fact, 90% QA, low paid QA. For their 4.5 LPA, which is, or 4 LPA plus skill bonus, they're hiring C, .NET, Cloud, Java, old language, IoT, software tester, right? If you look here, 5.4 LPA, Salesforce, ServiceNow, SAP, MuleSoft, cybersecurity, product analysis. 6.5 LPA, they are hiring AI, big data, full stack, data scientist, cybersecurity, AWS, generative AI, machine learning, data science, etc. So they are paying higher for this role. So if you have certifications, you will be hired here. And if you don't have certification, you will be hired, or you'll most likely not be hired, or even if you will be hired, you will be hired as a tester. So very important, having a certification, having projects in those is very, very important. And from please, no Neptel, no Udemy, no Coursera. If you have that, please delete. Garbage. Dustbin mein phek do bhai use. Simple. But there's a possibility. If you join the company, Cognizant allows you to, after 1 year of work, allows you to get promoted to these higher paying packages. As you can see here, they called as Cognizant Orbit Shifter. But you'll have to give the online test again after 1 year of joining Cognizant. Till then, you'll be working here with 4 LPA role. And then you'll also have to give again interviews. And then you need to have certifications. You can't say, if in the last 1 year I've worked crazy as a tester, so promote me here. They'll give you 10% increment. For you to get promoted from 4 LPA to 6.5 plus 10% increment, which is 7.5 LPA, you need to show what? That I have gotten certified in the meantime on these high paying skills. Reason why Cognizant and all of these companies had to do it is because, let's say 3.5 LPA they were giving to a generative AI engineer or a machine learning person or a data scientist. Within 1 year, that person will get 12 LPA, 7 LPA, 10 LPA role within 1 year. And then they will leave Cognizant or TCS or Cognizant. So for skills which are higher in demand or are hot in the market, they pay higher. So practically, this is it. What I want to do is, I want to ask questions, and just on the very end, take Prep Insta Prime subscription, call on this number, use the coupon code Atulya, and you can use the coupon code Red Bull. Probably on back of my here you can see Red Bull written, the spelling of Red Bull. You'll get 20% discount. Please, my team will be creating a coupon code called as Red Bull. How does Prep Insta Prime subscription look? So these are, again, first of all, you get 200 plus courses under one single subscription. So generative AI is also launching in the next 2 days. In fact, this is what my team has told me. And if they don't do it, I'll just go and make sure that it gets done within 2 days. Perks of being the founder. So 200 plus courses, whatever you need to do, and this is how all of these courses look. So you can look, they practically look amazing. I want to just show off them. Right. So So this is basically about the session. If you have any questions, make sure that you do ask me. What I will do is, I will go back here. There are some platforms, in fact, where is it? One last thing. So we've created some tracks. So tracks for data science and analytics company like Math Company, Mu Sigma, ZS Associates, tracks for service-based companies. So these are also very crazy for you if you're preparing for big 4 companies like PwC, KPMG, EY, Deloitte. So basically, it's nothing but when you open up this, it'll tell you what all courses to do. It'll tell you what all courses to do in what order and how much completion percentage you have based upon quizzes in those or assessment in those tests or in those courses. It'll tell you a predictor in terms of how likely Prep Insta tells you you're going to be hired in those companies based upon your performance in all of these courses once you do them. And when you come here, you will see a progress bar. So let me just quickly play the trailer. In the meantime, you can check how Prepinsta Prime subscription looks, and I'll answer all of these questions. Isn't his Red Bull t-shirt looking cool? Okay, thank you, Anna. Okay. I'm 2026 passing out right now in my pre-final year. I need Prepinsta Prime subscription. Okay, see, I've promoted it. I'm giving 20% off Nandini, Red Bull, and Atulya, my first name, as coupon code. Session is going very, very good. I am following Prepinsta from last 8 months. Thank you. Well, I want to look at questions. Not, well, here you are doing Tarif. Can you tell me till when can I get like test link for Accenture? If you are talking about off campus, Accenture was just hiring about a month back. So maybe Anna and my chat team can answer this question because they reply to all the DMs. Right. Okay. This also reminds me, make sure that you follow Prepinsta on our Instagram page. Where am I? Prepare? No. Off campus. Get off campus update. This is what I want you to do.
Before you watch the video,
I will log in next time and not get shown on all of these ads on my own company. So let's say Prepinsta for 2027. अच्छा नहीं 26 तो ही खोलना था. You guys are 26 batch only, right? So make sure that you follow here. Why? Because we'll be posting hiring updates. Globals is hiring. XYZ company is hiring. I'm sure more companies are hiring. I have not logged in, so I can't see. And I also have my Instagram. Make sure that you do follow me here. So okay, so I have some followers here also. Something went wrong. I need to log in. So let's have a look if people have actually asked a few more questions. Sir, I am a 2024 graduate with 10 LPA, with 1 year gap. Can I still bag a 10 plus LPA offer? Yes, definitely. For some companies, as long as if you have more than 8 CGPA. So, okay, let me explain this in a little detail. 90% of the companies will allow gap, no problem. But major issue will come if your class 10th percentage, 12th percentage and CGPA is less than 80. Because top 20 companies, something like Amazon, Flipkart, or let's say Morgan Stanley, all of these high paying companies, Samsung, 20, 30, 40 LPA companies, those will ask you for a requirement of 80% throughout, but only 20% of the companies will do that. Other 80% of the company will have basic requirement of more than 6 CGPA and 60% in class 10th and 12th and less than 1 active backlog, right? So practically yes, to be honest, I didn't have a gap, but I had less than 8 CGPA in my college, but still got placed in Google. Will AI replace software engineers in future? I'll explain this, but there's one better question. Sir, what can I do for internships? Apply. So there's a website called as Angel List. Make sure that you go there. Then LinkedIn, you will find a lot of internships. But I will not genuinely, I don't prefer personally, and I know a lot of people in the industry don't prefer for you to have internship experience. More so than that, what I would want you to have is more certifications. Why? Because let's say even if I hire you in Prepinsta as an intern, I will not allow you to code on my website, right? Because you are an intern, you don't know anything. You're here for 1 month, 2 months, max 3 months. Most people are here for 1 month internship. So during that duration, I will not allow you to touch my code. So I'll be like, okay, I'll give you an internship certificate, just show me some project at the very end of it and I'll just give you a sign and then internship, right? This is how most internship works, Sarkari types. So better than that, most people realize it because I also did my internship in Tata Communications. I went for the internship in 45 days, about 10 days. In those 10 days, I just chilled, didn't do anything. Most of the people didn't do anything in those internships. Now, since we did not do anything, we know that the people we are interviewing also are also engineers. Let's say 5 years back, 6 years back, we were also engineers. So we know nothing happens in internship. Practically, we know that we learn more from certifications, we learn more from projects, we learn more from freelancing. So this is what I would be recommending to you. Will AI replace software engineers in future? And tell me about AI nowadays. So practically, yes, but what I would say is, so for example, my younger brother, right? He is also a graduate. He is also an engineer. He is working right now in KPMG as as generative AI engineer. So maybe in 10 years time, whenever let's say I will start replacing actual engineers also, before engineers it will start replacing probably let's say CA, chartered accountant, or marketing people, etc., etc. Engineers would be a little later. But when it will replace, at least he'll get replaced last because he's working on projects replacing engineers or replacing people. So for example, one of the projects that my younger brother was working upon was a project for a company, or let me not name the company. Basically, he was replacing chartered accountants by automating whatever chartered accountants were doing, and his manager had a team of 10 people. His manager had a 1 year goal that we have 2,500 chartered accountant in our company. We want to reduce them by 30%. If you do it, we will promote you, give you money, etc. A Red Bull supporter, awesome. Thank you. Something happened on my back. Okay. I was able to somehow go to my profile. Right. Yes, Red Bull supporter. Today there's a free practice one. Hoping to watch that. ₹2 की Pepsi, Atulya sir, sexy. मतलब you forgot to mention sexy. I am adding it. Hopefully I am. सर बट नेपटेल पे तो एग्जाम होते हैं टू गेट द सर्टिफिकेट. भाई नेपटेल, भाई देखो सच बताओ, सरकारी है नेपटेल, सरकारी चीज़ें पढ़ाते हैं, सरकार के एम्प्लॉय टीचर्स पढ़ा रहे हैं. साला जिनकी नौकरी नहीं लगी, खुद एज एन इंजीनियर उन्हें एमटेक करनी पड़ी, फिर नौकरी नहीं लगी तो क्या हुआ, टीचर बन गए. तुम्हारे कॉलेज के टीचर क्या हैं? टू बी ऑनेस्ट, दे आर गेटिंग 40, 50, 60,000 rupees as salary, right? If these guys were good enough, they could have gotten placed in TCS only, and let's say after working 5-7 years in TCS, earning 10, 15, 20 LPA, right? So teachers are practically taklas of the world who did not get placed during campus placements and now are teaching you to get placed, right? Your college teachers. So same thing is with also Neptel. All of us know it. So people have stopped trusting Neptel certifications. People have stopped trusting Coursera certifications and Udemy certifications. So please, I'm not saying do Prepinsta Prime subscription. Let me open it for marketing. मत करो ये. Marketing कर रहा हूँ but मत करो ये. Don't do it. But do from let's say Scalar or Upgrad or Great Learning or etc. But make sure that you have certifications, because I don't trust YouTube. Or in fact, I'll take a lecture about it. Why certifications matter. If you want, please type yes. Sir, collab with Shukla ji. Shukla ji, yes. Shukla is going to his home. So I told him that let's do a collab today. But he said, I have a train at 7 p.m. Intellipat is good. But I've not heard about Intellipat. Maybe it's a small company. Since I'm in the edtech industry, so it must be a small company. So people have not heard about it. Make sure that you do something that most people know about, right? So everybody has used Prepinsta as a college fresher, right? So which is why they trust it. Project sir, sir, should we go for GATE? मतलब no, ideally देखो यार, GATE करके भी if you can get a 20 LPA, 10 LPA, 15 LPA salary, why to do GATE? GATE is for people who didn't get good salary, or people who are in mechanical and want government sarkari job, right? So guys, thank you so much. I would request my team to help me in terms of ending it. I'm clicking upon stop streaming. So Sheikh, if you're listening, if you can come here and just close this. In the meantime, I will answer questions. Sir, I'm doing Prepinsta certification only, but those professors are from IIT, so they are नहीं होता. I've told you. See, guys, IIT professors are also people who are from tier 2 cities or tier 2 colleges, right? And then these guys they are not doing projects. Eventually it is projects, right? Would you want to learn from somebody who's worked, and I'm not talking about Prep Insta Prime, let's say if you do from Scalar also, like Anshuman has worked in Facebook as the lead of Facebook Messenger. Would you want to learn from that or that, right? So Scalar is more expensive, so in that case take a Prep Insta Prime subscription. It's not expensive. How much is it? 20% discount तो दे रहा हूँ ना bro, which is use the coupon code Red Bull or Prep Insta or Atulya, my first name. ले लो भाई 12 महीने का. Just go ahead and take it. 6,000 rupees. Get to 20% discount. Call on this number. Where is it? Number ही नहीं है. Oh, here. 844-844-0710. Right. How is Geeks for Geek courses for months? Tech decent है यार, मतलब देख लो, मतलब all I say, I to be honest really like Geeks for Geeks. It's a crazy ass website for blogs, articles, etc. Only thing that I'll say is के मतलब to be honest, I'll say our courses are better. You pay once, you get access to 200 courses. First benefit. Second thing is, to be honest, they look more sexy. Prep Insta courses. So, but again, even if you take Geeks for Geeks, amazing. It's just that I think this is better. Right. Maheen Kazi, यार बहुत marketing हो गया यार. Can somebody ask me genuine questions that I can answer about not Prep Insta Prime, but let's say basic questions. Should I learn C if I know Python well because I have very less time? See, Python is good, but you can't do DSA in Python. To be honest, if you show me, if I see somebody in the interview doing DSA with Python, I would probably kick them out of the room. Why? Because it beats the whole concept of fast. DSA is about doing fast. Or DSA, I want to actually see logic. So let's say if somebody is to write overflow, underflow condition for a stack or a queue, right? In Python, you'll just say queue.add. I don't want to see it. The whole purpose of asking DSA was, I want to see when you create a stack, how do you manage top plus, top minus, 1? How do you manage overflow, underflow conditions? So to see your logic, I didn't want to know that, okay, you know dot add or dot NQ, DQ methods, right? Shiv, sir, cognizant communication test completed 17th of April but not received any aptitude technical exam. Text us on Instagram. See, all of these minor things, this company was hiring, this company was hiring, I have not received. Instagram pe text karo. The person so we have approximately 10 people in our social media and chat team. So they will reply off campus करके 2-3 और account है हमारे. Wherever you want to text, they'll be able to reply. We reply to 1,000+ messages every day. Sir, good tips for resume. I'll take one more session on resume a little later. That's it. I don't want to extend this session. Sheikh, let's close this. Sheikh. Anyways, Sheikh came. I don't know how to end the session if I end it incorrectly. Rajat Vashne Singh, big fan, big salute to you. Big fan of you also, Rajat. No, Rajat is our employee. वो खुद ही chat पे बात कर रहा है तो hi Rajat. ठीक है, thank you guys. If you have any questions, text us. Bye bye.